If you're hiring a real estate company instead of hiring a real estate agent, you may be making the biggest mistake of your home selling journey. And today, I might not be a popular agent, but I'm going to expose exactly how franchise real estate companies, for example, like Compass and many others, are selling their agents a bill of goods to recruit them. But that does absolutely nothing to enhance the client's experience and to help you sell your home faster or for more money. That's what it's all about, right? Now, Compass recently got into real hot water with Zillow over their exclusive off-market program, a program that promises agents they can keep listings exclusive within their network. It sounds fancy, right? Here's what it really means for you. Your home isn't getting the exposure it deserves. You're leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, and the agent you hired is relying on their company's shiny promises instead of their own proven strategies. That should terrify you. Terrifies me. And today I'm going to pull back the curtain on the franchise real estate company model, breaking down every single promise that big franchises make to their agents and this Compass lawsuit going on. And I'll show you why none of it helps you sell your home. Then I'm going to give you the exact questions you need to ask the agent before you let them into your home. This insider information could save you $50,000, $20,000, lots of money, thousands of dollars more on your home sale and your insanity. So let's go on this one. So what really inspired me to expose this today? Well, recently a YouTube subscriber called me, it was last Sunday, to sell his mom's home. And it just so happened the home is in my market area. And he told me about this Compass realtor that was referred to him by a Florida realtor and all these cutesy incentives. And, that's why he should hire her. Well, I could not believe my ears. So let's talk about this. So you think first before hiring the agent and why you don't hire the company, no matter how many agents this company has. So let's talk about this Compass off-market program, and that's why this realtor should be hired and all this stuff. I believe it's a perfect example of how franchises market to their agents and have nothing to do with the consumer experience. What Compass promises agents is that they say, hey, come work for us and our company, and you can put your listings on our exclusive off-market list. Your listing is going to go out to all Compass agents before it hits the public market. Sounds exclusive, right? Sounds like your home's getting some special treatment. But the reality for sellers is your home is being shown to then first to this limited pool of buyers, just Compass agents. And you know what I call this? In real estate, it's called limiting your exposure. And when you limit your exposure, you get fewer potential buyers seeing your home, you have less competition for your property, lower offers, longer time on the market once it finally goes public, and a stigma that something must be wrong with your home if it couldn't sell through this exclusive network. Now, what does Zillow have to do with this? Well, Compass, they kind of got in trouble because they were essentially trying to create a closed ecosystem that kept their listings away from other platforms and other agents and, of course, other buyers. The issue isn't just about competition between companies. It's about your home not getting maximum exposure in the market. So the real question is, ask yourself, well, if I were selling my car, would you advertise it to only people who work at one company? Or would you put it on every platform possible to get the most buyers competing for it? So being that your home is probably one of your largest assets, why would you want to limit who sees it? So what the program actually does is limits the buyer pool, creates some artificial scarcity. It doesn't benefit the seller, gives agents a luxury talking point that has nothing to do with selling home, makes agents feel special while your home sits unsold, and delays your listing's public debut, wasting precious market time. And what they're saying is that, well, you can test the price out on our platform to all of our Compass agents buyers. Well, pricing doesn't work that way. You don't put it out there to test the price. The agent should be capable enough and competent enough to come up with the exact bullseye price. That's what we do. So what your agent should actually be doing is giving you maximum exposure from day one. Have a strategic coming soon campaign that builds anticipation all over all platforms. Targeted marketing to your target market. Now, who what buyer is moving into these neighborhoods that you're in. And serious buyers, not just agents in their office. And they should be creating competition and urgency through smart pricing and timing, like I was saying. Because the off-market program is designed to recruit agents to this company. It's not designed to sell your home faster or for more money. Just keep that in mind. And all real estate companies have these things that they say, oh, I can do this, we can do that for you. So what's the promise? What do the agents get versus what you get for these franchises? So what I'll do is I'll list everything that these companies offer to recruit agents, and then I'm going to show you why none of it really helps you sell your home. Promise one. We have amazing technology and a beautiful website. And if you list with our franchise, your listing will be on our state-of-the-art website with 3D tours, drone footage, and virtual staging. But the reality check is these companies aren't paying for staging. They're not paying for drone photos. The agent pays for that. Your buyers aren't going to Compass or Keller Williams or Remax or any of those big franchises to find homes. They're going to Zillow, Realtor.com, Google, things like that. So a fancy company website means nothing if buyers aren't finding it. What really matters is, does your agent know how to create compelling listing description that targets their target market? Does the agent have a professional photographer who knows how to make your home look incredible? Does your agent know the angles to take pictures from? Does your agent even show up at the picture time? A lot of agents just send their photographer out and don't tell them anything. Does your agent understand how to optimize your listing for search engines? All right. Does your agent have a proven social media marketing strategies? These are agent skills. Has nothing to do with what their company can offer you. Promise number 2, we'll create beautiful marketing materials and brochures. Our in-house marketing team will create stunning brochures, postcards, and flyers for your listing. Reality check is, who cares about a pretty brochure if the agent doesn't know how to price your home correctly, stage it, or negotiate effectively? I find that most agents have zero negotiating skills. So what are there? And the truth is, in the 32 years of selling real estate, I've never had a buyer say,
what sold me on this house is the brochure. It was really nice.
What really sells homes is strategic pricing based on true market analysis. Professional staging that helps buyers envision themselves living there. Timing the market correctly, creating urgency through multiple offers, expert negotiating that gets you top dollar. They're agent skills developed through hundreds of transactions. Reps, I call them. A brochure template from, say, corporate headquarters does really nothing. Promise number 3. We have a large network of agents. Well, when you join with our franchise, you'll be part of a huge network of agents who can bring buyers to your listings. That's what they tell the agents. But the reality check for sellers is that's perhaps the biggest myth in real estate. Here's what they don't tell you, that every licensed agent in your area has access to the multiple listing, okay? That means every agent can see and show your home regardless of what company they work for. The franchise network doesn't mean anything. What matters is, does your agent know how to market to the agents who actually have qualified buyers? Does your agent have relationships with top producing buyer agents or just agents in general? Does your agent host broker opens and agent previews effectively? Things like that. Now, I've been in the business again for a while, and the top buyer agents I work with, they don't care what company I'm with. They don't care about any of that. They care about, is the home priced right? Is it in good condition? And they love the fact that all my listings are pre-inspected. And is the agent professional and responsive? Or is the agent is one who sells houses a lot and they know when their listings don't stay on the market for more than 2 days? Will this agent negotiate fairly? Things like that. Promise number 4. We'll provide training and education to your agent. And they tell these agents, hey, come join us in our franchise. You'll get access to our training programs, our webinars, and our coaching. So the reality check for sellers is, this should actually terrify you because it means the agent you're hiring might need training on how to sell homes. Yikes. Do you really want to hire an agent who is kind of learning on your dime? Or do you want an agent that's already sold hundreds of homes and has proven systems? So what should you be looking for? How many homes has the agent personally sold? Don't have them go into, my company does this or my company does that. How many years of experience through different market conditions? And what was their days on the market? What's their average sale price compared to the list price? What strategies do they use for staging, pricing, and negotiating? And you can test their negotiating skills as well when you're negotiating the compensation. See, the company's training program doesn't sell your home, the agent's experience does. Got it? Promise number 5, we have a national brand recognition. Woo! They tell their agents, hey, come to our office. Our brand is recognized nationally, which will help your listings sell faster and get you more sellers to list with you. But the reality check for sellers, your home is selling in your local market. National brand recognition doesn't mean much if your agent doesn't understand your specific neighborhood, your buyer demographic, and your local market conditions. I'd rather hire an agent who knows that homes in your neighborhood sell best when listed in the spring, or understands that buyers in your area value outdoor spaces, or has sold 15 homes on my street in the last 5 years. Not so important for me about if they sold on your street, but just how many homes that they are selling. And I like an agent who's sold in different areas because they can see their expertise can go anywhere. Really important, knows which local contractors can do quick pre-sale improvements, especially if you haven't called the agent 6 months to a year in advance. Like I tell people on my channel to do, get started earlier than you think, has a relationship with maybe some stagers or photographers, inspectors. All that's really more important than worrying about if your company has a national Super Bowl commercial or something like that. I mean, because you see that all the time. And then promise number 6, they tell the agents that they'll handle all the administration work. We have transaction coordinators, administration staff, handle all your paperwork. Just go sell houses. But the reality check for sellers is this is only a promise that has value, but the catch is most experienced agents already have their own systems and assistants and things that are turbulence related. In other words, I have a list of turbulence of things that can happen in this neighborhood, in that neighborhood, with that township code and all that. They already have all that and probably be better at it than some transaction coordinator in some office in a corporate environment. They're in maybe Chicago or something when your listing's actually in Pennsylvania. What really matters most is your agent responsive when you call? Do they have a system where you can text them at any time and their whole team on one of your questions? Does the agent personally review every document? Does your agent catch potential issues before they become problems? I wrote a whole book on turbulence, just came out. It's called Navigate Transactional Turbulence. Really good. You can check that book out as well. Besides my other 2 books, Model Home Mindset and Home Selling Sharks. Like I was saying, a transaction coordinator at the corporate office doesn't replace a hands-on experienced agent who's personally invested in the sale. All right? So the next thing I want to talk about is the franchise model. It kind of breeds mediocrity. Why did I say that? Well, when a company gives every agent the same tools, the same scripts, the same marketing materials, the same systems, every agent provides the same mediocre service. Why does this matter to you? Well, think about it. If every Compass agent has access to the same exclusive off-market program, how is your agent differentiated? If every Keller Williams agent uses the same brochure template, what makes your listing stand out if brochures are that important? Nothing, right? And the problem with standardization is real estate is not a one-size-fits-all business. I believe your 1950s bungalow, it needs different marketing than a modern new construction home, right? Your luxury home needs different staging than a starter home. Your neighborhood has different buyer demographics than the next neighborhood over the next street. When you hire an agent from a big franchise, you're getting cookie cutter marketing, templated listing descriptions, standardized photography, generic staging advice, one-size-fits-all pricing strategies, and lots more. But what you should be getting when you hire an agent with their own proven systems, you get custom marketing strategy based on your home's unique features, personalized staging plan that highlights your home's best qualities, and a pricing strategy based on a deep neighborhood dive and the knowledge and the current market conditions, and negotiating tactics honed through hundreds of transactions. Really important. Problem-solving skills that come from experience, not a training manual. So the real estate agent that you want is an agent who has their own strategies, an agent who has developed their own staging checklists through years of seeing what works and what doesn't work, or built relationships with the best photographers, contractors, stagers in the area, create their own pricing analysis. Mine is the pinpoint pricing. I've showed you that in many videos. You can check my pricing video on my pinpoint pricing analysis. And perfected their negotiating approach through countless transactions and earned their reputation through results. Where realtors see a sign on the lawn with your agent's name on it, they're like, oh, this house is going to sell fast. And she's a tough negotiator, right? The company's advertising is not going to replace any of that. The best agents, they don't need a franchise. They have their own brand built on reputation, their own systems developed through their experience, their own network of professionals, their own marketing strategies, their own negotiating skills, because they are the negotiator. Top-notch negotiators are about your best agents with the marketing background. So when an agent falls back on my company does this or my franchise provides that, it's just a red flag, guys. It means they don't have their own proven strategies. So what actually sells homes? I think it's the agent's expertise. It's your agent who sells the home, not the company. So I'm going to base this on my model home mindset, the system I developed over 32 years of selling thousands of homes. Let's begin with the first thing is pre-listing preparation. I call it the garden method. I believe the best agents start preparing your home for sale years before they list. They have that mentality. For me, I'm thinking, let's work 5 years from now before you're ready to sell. Let me help you with your home sale then. Because I'm invested for 5 years before I even get close to getting paid. I'm actually with my clients for 5 years, some of them, right? If someone talks in that language, that's the one you want to talk to. If someone's talking about getting your house on the market right away so they make a commission check, that's not somebody you want to talk to. So what we do with our homes methods, all in my book, gauge market trends and plan for strategic improvements, assess the home's condition. What's the potential of this home? And what are some things we could do that have a high return on investment? Document all changes and upgrades, enhance curb appeal gradually. It's a system that starts earlier than you think, because then you can nurture the home's value over the time. I call it the slow burn renovation strategy. I love it, the name of it. It's slow burn. I say, let's get the slow burn in there. Instead of rushing and get everything done in the weeks before listing, we make improvements gradually, strategically, and cost effectively. Does Compass off-market program help you with this? No. Does a franchise fancy website help you with this? No. Does national brand recognition help you with this? No. But they do. They train their agents to get listings and sellers to sell quickly, to get them on how to get a seller to sign the dotted line versus how to help somebody plan 2 or 3 years from now. This is pure agent expertise. Long-term strategic thinking. I love it, long-term. Second thing that they do is they have great staging experience. Like my model home mindset. I grew up walking through model homes when I was 5 years old with my father. He was a custom home builder. I learned early what makes buyers fall in love with a home. That's why my book is called Model Home Mindset. It's not about expensive furniture. It's about creating flow, maximizing space, depersonalizing so buyers can envision themselves living there, and highlighting any architectural features, creating emotional connections in every room, making the home feel aspirational yet attainable. And what I do is I walk people through their home in about 20 minutes, tell them what furniture needs to go, what walls need fresh paint, where to add better lighting, or how to rearrange for better flow, what minor fixes will yield major returns, what light fixtures we can change, little things. And then we put it all on a spreadsheet and do it over time. But this comes with experience, not from franchise training manual, okay? The third thing, really important, is pricing strategy. Price is both an art and a science, because you have to price based upon what the house will look like and what you're planning to do on the return and getting the return on investment. You have to know deep knowledge of your neighborhood, current market conditions, understanding what's going on, analysis of recent comparable sales, someone who's been in the market through many ups and downs, awareness of any upcoming inventory or pending sales, psychological understanding of buyers, strategic thinking about timing, all these different things. Because I've seen agents from big franchises who can simply pull comps from the MLS and average them. That's lazy. It costs you money. That's not how you want to do it. Because a skilled agent, someone like myself, knows when to price aggressively to create urgency, when to price conservatively to attract multiple offers, how to use price anchoring to your advantage, and how to adjust strategy based on market feedback. And also how to position your home against competition. Really important. Pricing is so key. I talk a lot about pricing in my Home Selling Sharks book. I got a couple books here you can get on Amazon. So let's talk about marketing. Another one. I call it I think it's my fifth shark. Marketing mastery isn't about these pretty brochures. It's about getting professional photography. Drone photos should be in every listing. That makes buyers want to see more. Compelling listing descriptions to tell a story. Timing of your listing launch, coming soon campaigns, targeted social media advertising, all those things. Email campaigns to top performing buyer agents. Maybe some broker opens, public opens houses. You shouldn't need, say, a franchise's technology platform to do all this. You need skill, creativity, hustle. That's it. What about negotiating? In my Canvas strategy, in my book, I talk about negotiating because I like to win. I like my sellers to win. And that, I think, is where agents separate themselves from each other. It's not about being tough or aggressive. It's about creating compelling narratives about the home, analyzing all angles of every deal, knowing what to do and not to do to get the home on the market and looking its best, and navigating emotional turbulence. Buyers and sellers can get very emotional. Value added way beyond just the price, and anticipating and preparing for objections. Really important in a good agent is knowing what the objections you're going to get and be able to get that out of the way right from the beginning, and just securing the best outcome. Let me give you a real example. I had a listing where the buyers walked through the house with the seller before it came on the market. It was on a Thursday. The house doesn't start showing till Saturday. Came in at $675. And I said, no, we're going to let it go through the whole weekend. And they're like, okay. And then they came back. They gave us a lower offer after the weekend was over. I'm like, sorry, that's not going to work out. We have all these offers, and we're not going to do it. Meanwhile, we didn't have many offers at all. Well, they came back at $725 just by negotiating with them. That's $75,000 over what they were going to pay. So by holding firm, we got the buyer up additional $75,000. Did Compass's off-market program do that? No. Did a franchise fancy website do that? No. Did national brand recognition do that? No. It was my negotiating strategy, my coming soon listing process, the whole thing that honed in getting them more money. All that did that. And another thing is problem solving under pressure, because every real estate transaction, they hit snag somewhere. The real good agents, like myself, I don't ever panic. I just solve the problems. I usually can see the problems happening before they even happen. And that's a forward-thinking agent is really good. Like inspection issues. So what we do is we have a pre-home inspection, have contractors already provide quotes. That helps that out. An appraisal that comes in low, we negotiate to have no appraisal or to have no appraisal gap. Our buyer's financing might fall through. Well, we don't allow a weak buyer to get on paper with our sellers, A good agent will vet the mortgage company, making sure they have done everything they were supposed to do. Maybe title issues would emerge, and my title company allows me to do a bring down on the seller's title before settlement, before we even go on the market, because then we can know whether there's problems with the title. Or maybe there's some closing delays. A good agent will coordinate all the parties to keep things moving. And a lot of that's happening now because of the mortgage companies are overwhelmed because they laid off people and want to delay listing settlements all the time. I think problem-solving skills come from experience, not from working with a big franchise. So how do I identify a franchise-dependent agent versus a skilled professional? Well, I kind of told you a lot about that, but just giving you the exact questions you need to ask an agent before you invite them into your home is good. I think the questions will immediately reveal whether you're dealing with a skilled professional or someone who's relying on their company to do the heavy lifting. And you won't find many, in some areas, maybe you won't find even an agent who's not with a big company. And so you have to see which ones in that company are the best ones to work with. Questions you can ask. Tell me about your personal track record. How many homes have you personally sold in the last 12 months in the last 5 years? A bad answer would be, well, my company sells thousands of homes per year and we're the number one franchise in the area. A good answer would say, I personally sold 30, 40 homes last year with an average sale price of 102% of list price. And over the past 5 years, I've sold hundreds of homes, whatever it is, with an average of only 23 days on the market. That would be a good answer. That tells you if they immediately talk about their company instead of their personal production. If they do, then just run, because you're not hiring the company, guys. You're hiring the agent. Question 2 is, what is your specific strategy for preparing my home for sale? Walk me through your process. Well, a bad answer would be, well, our company has a great staging team that will come in and make recommendations. We'll also create a beautiful brochure and we'll put your home on our fantastic website. Good answer. I'll come and do a room-by-room walkthrough and create a detailed preparation checklist specific to your home for each room. And based on your timeline, we'll prioritize improvements that will give you the highest return. I work with a network of contractors I've personally vetted over the years. Before we list, we'll do professional photography, we'll do drone photography, and I'll create a marketing strategy that highlights your home's unique selling points. Let me show you some before and after photos. Let me show you my photos. Good agents want to show, and they don't talk. They just show, and then that will tell. And also, when you ask them this question, if they have a specific detailed process, it indicates experience, because generic answers indicate they're relying on company resources rather than personal expertise. Next question. How do you determine the list price for my home? Well, a bad answer would be, I pull comparable sales from the MLS and will price your home competitively based on those. Okay. Well, a good answer would be, I'll conduct a comprehensive market analysis that looks at recent sales, current active listings, and pending sales. And I'll talk to those agents with the pending sales and find out what those homes are selling for. I'll talk to the agents with the active listings to find out why they're not selling. But beyond just the numbers, I'll factor in your home's specific features, current market momentum, buyer psychology, your target market of your buyer, what type of buyers are moving into your neighborhood. Depending upon your timeline and goals, we might price to create multiple offer situations, or we'll take a different approach. I'll walk you through different pricing strategies and explain the pros and cons of each. That tells you that pricing is part science, part art. An experienced agent understands the nuances and just not the data. Question 4. What makes you different from other agents? Bad answer. I work for a big franchise name, so you'll benefit from our national brand recognition, our amazing technology, and our large network of agents. Good answer. I've developed a specific system for preparing homes for sale that I've refined over a black amount of years. I start working with sellers sometimes years before they list, and I actually like that. I like to work with them at least 2 years, 1 to 2 years, so I can help them make strategic improvements that maximize their value over the years, so you don't have to do it all at once. And my staging experience comes from actually seeing what works. I can walk you through your home and know exactly what changes will make the biggest impact. I also have strong relationships with top buyer agents in the area, which means your home gets shown to serious qualified buyers. What does that tell you? So if the differentiator is their company, they don't have personal expertise. If their differentiator is their proven system and experience, you just found a professional. Let them show you example after example. Let me show me the last 40 homes you sold and show me the before and after photos. They'll be like, what? Next question. Number 5, can you give me an example of a difficult negotiation you navigated successfully? Bad answer. Well, my broker is always available to help with negotiations, and our company has great legal resources. Good answer. They should tell you a specific story, but details about their challenge, their strategy, and their outcome. And a good agent will have lots of them. They'll keep going off their head of all the different multiple examples. They'll have them ready. What this tells you is that negotiating skills are critical. They can't give you a specific example of how they navigated hundreds of different difficult situations. They lack experience, or they don't have that many reps, I call it, or transactions under their belt. It's like a doctor doing heart surgery. You want someone who does a lot of them because you don't want them messing up on your heart. Number 6, how do you handle multiple offer situations? A bad answer would be, well, just take the highest offer. A good answer would be that multiple offers are about more than just price. I'll evaluate each based on price, terms, contingencies, financing strength, and closing timeline. We'll also look at the buyer's agent and their track record for actual closing deals, through the actual close. How many transactions they've done, and how many they've done this past year. Sometimes the highest offer isn't the best offer if it has weak financing or bad contingencies that are going to be problems. So basically, I walk through all your offers, I explain the risks and benefits, and help you make the best decision for your specific situation. Tells you sophisticated understanding of offers, indicates experience, right? And client advocacy. Question 7. What happens if my home doesn't sell in the first 30 days? A bad answer would be, we'll probably need to lower the price. First of all, as an agent, I don't want to have the house not selling in 30 days, but if you have to get an answer, the good answer would be, first, we'll analyze exactly why. Is it the price? Is it condition? Is it the marketing? Is it the timing? I'll get you feedback from every showing and every agent who previewed the property. And based on that feedback, we'll adjust our strategy. And a good agent will take a home and stage it and market it a certain way so that only price can be the thing that's the differentiator versus the amenity that it has. And that's why we have our pricing model, the pinpoint pricing. Take the feedback, number of showing, and decide where we are. This way you can eliminate everything, just the pricing. Now sometimes, like we just had this real expensive house that they don't want to do any painting. I did some painting, and then we realized we had to do the painting that I suggested in the first place, so we had to go back and do all the painting, put it back on the market, and sold in one day. So sometimes you do have to take a strategic analytical approach versus just lower the price. You just want to eliminate everything but the price, and you just don't want to price your house too high in the beginning. Question 8, tell me about a sale that almost fell apart and how you saved it. Bad answer was, I really can't think of one, or our company has systems in place to prevent that. Good answer is they should have multiple stories ready. Every experienced agent has saved deals that were falling apart, and I know that. This is where they show their problem-solving skills and creativity, and every time they make something happens, they put it on their list so it doesn't happen again. So we have very few problems because we've done so many transactions. It really tells you what, their crisis management skills and really their commitment to getting transactions closed. So what are the red flag phrases? Run if you hear these, okay? Our company will, the franchise provides, we have a great corporate marketing team, our brand is recognized nationally. I just joined real estate and I'm so excited. My broker will help with that. That's handled by our office. I haven't sold many homes yet, but I'm really motivated. Green flag phrases that indicate expertise. I personally, in my experience, I developed a system for over the past blank years. I found that. Let me tell you about a specific example. My network includes, I work with a team of professionals. I personally vet it. Here's my track record. So why working with an individual broker has an advantage? Well, the individual broker is on the line. They own the company rather than an agent working for a big franchise. They're personal accountable for everything. If something happens, the reputation is on the line. It's their business. You can't hide behind some corporate brand. Every transaction reflects directly on them. Flexibility and innovation. Independent brokers aren't bound by the franchise rules and corporate policies. They can be more innovative and try new strategies and adapt quickly to market changes. And also independent agents like myself, we have personalized systems, not that one size fits all franchise. I have lower overhead, better service. Franchise fees can be 6 to 8% of agents' commission. Independent brokers don't pay those fees. It means they can invest more in your marketing, your home, and building better professional networks. And you probably will pay more for an individual agent and as experienced agents for their marketing and expertise. And they'll get you that money that you pay and then some back. Of course, the local market expertise that independent brokers have. So that was a long one. So here's what you need to remember. You're not hiring the company, you're hiring the agent. All real estate agents are not created equal. Franchise promises are marketing to agents, not benefits to you. We talked about what actually sells homes, such as strategic, preparation, expert pricing, negotiating skills, things like that. And we also talked about what you're going to do to hire an agent. Before you interview anyone, print out the questions I gave you, ask every agent a question over the phone. Pay attention to whether they talk I or we. Ask for specific examples and numbers before and after homes they've sold, their track record, their strategies. Don't be impressed with fancy company names. Look for proven results. Look for an individual broker or a broker who works for a franchise that's different, that's not talking about their franchise. And if you're in the Philadelphia area and you're thinking about selling, you know who to call. And if not, I got this great realtor referral program. I'm going to do all the vetting and asking all the questions for you because they'll talk to me differently and I'll find you a really good agent. I won't say they won't work with a franchise, but I'll look for an individual type person who does work with a franchise or an individual company. I find that most of my referrals I give are independent companies. I don't look at franchises at all, unless that's all I can find. Because you know what? Selling your home is the biggest financial transaction you'll make. One of them. Don't trust it with an agent who's relying on companies' promises. Just find, an agent who's committed, proven track record, things like that. And if you want to know how to hire an agent, the entire process from start to finish, then watch this video. How to find a realtor who will actually make you more money for you than what you pay them in fees. It's a good one. And remember, don't hire the company, hire the agent.